And ever since this, I started drinking this herbal calcium formula, and this comfrey root is a key ingredient in this formula. I all those aches and pains went away, and not only that, but my my teeth, they started remineralizing.
Welcome to the Career and Faith podcast, where we help you fuel your career decisions, transitions, and resilience using faith. I am your host, Joy Scott, and today we are here with a special guest, Mayim Vega. Now, before we get into exactly what she does, let's play a little game. So, Mayim, can you tell our viewers what you do without actually saying your job title?
Okay, let's try it. Okay, so I help people achieve optimal health and healing through holistic, natural, safe yet effective means, including nutrition, herbs, supplements, lifestyle, and mindset.
Ooh, it seems very serene and peaceful in what you do, just like your background, the the waterfall. So everyone, can you guess what she does? Okay, I know you're probably wondering. So let's not keep them in suspense any longer. Mime, what do you do?
So my title is Naturopathic Herbalist. And I'd like to explain what that means because some people don't know, or so a lot of people know what herbalist means, right? Because there have been herbalists for thousands of years. They were our medicinal men or women, the healers of the tribe or community. But naturopath or naturopathy, this is a more modern term, and it means that someone who's naturopathic uses kind of everything that they have in grasp to help someone, including nutrition and diet and lifestyle and mindset and telling them to rest and get enough hydration and things like that. Now, herbalists have always done these things, but I wanted to add the word in naturopathy because usually when people say, oh, you're an herbalist, they think that my work is confined to herbs. And so adding that word naturopathy, I feel like it's signaling to people it's more than just herbs. It's also about diet and, all these other important things.
Wow. Wow, this must be very rewarding for you. Well, here's the thing. Before you were in the position that you're in now, you worked at NASA. Now, it's not every day that you meet someone who used to work at NASA. They're not, NASA people are not just walking around, at least not in my neck of the woods. So, what are 5 words to describe what it was like working there and the work that you did?
Sure. Okay. Well, it was fun for sure. Teamwork, I would say, was part of a team, and the team was part of a bigger team, right? Bigger organization, and we really all helped each other. It was a lot of fun because, okay, the next word, third word, research. It was all about research. Our program helped other scientists and researchers do their research, right? It and Let me see, that's three. Number four, I would say learning. So NASA was a place of learning, not only through your own research that you were doing, but we would periodically have different experts in their field come and give us talks and lectures about all sorts of topics, both scientific and also theoretical and philosophical, or a mix of both. So it was very interesting. Diverse would be another one. Is that number four or five? I think that's
I'm so engaged, I'm losing count.
okay. Sorry. I think that's number four. Um, so diverse, it was a very diverse workplace. We had men, we had women, we had different colors, we had immigrants, we had um American citizens, and and actually, of course, it wasn't just computer scientists that worked at NASA. We had all sorts of different fields, even cooks and chefs and, janitors and stuff like that, because, of course, it's just an organization like anywhere else. So very diverse, very inclusive. Um, yeah.
Wow.
I'll say one more,
Mhm.
which is um, thought provoking. Everyone was thoughtful. Everyone was intelligent. At least my friends. You know, and we all had great respect for each other and each other's contributions.
Wow. Wow. And you were a computer scientist there, correct?
Yes.
Wow. Now, for many people who are watching, they are probably in a position in which it seems very prestigious, but they want to do something that really makes their heart sing, that really lights them up. But it is the prestige on the outside of it that is keeping them in a position where it's keeping them from even exploring doing what it is that they really want to do while they're in the position that they're in. So for you, was it easy making the transition from or making the decision to leave NASA to go into the field that you're in now?
Okay. So I actually, everything that I did after my years in NASA was out of necessity. So I became a computer scientist at NASA because I don't know, programming and computer science were just fascinating to me. I love the power, the idea that you could create, something, for example, online, a website or application or program, and it could be accessible to the whole entire world. This is when the internet was just being born, and it was fascinating. I was like, I want to do that. I want to create something like that. And then I got into NASA, and then I got married in 2003. 9 months later, I had my first child. I have seven now, seven children. But after my first child, I said, well, I was working a little bit after my first child, but then I said, you know what, I really would like to be a work from home mom and not have to put my child in daycare. So I just felt like this was more natural. I just missed him too much, when I was at work, even though NASA had a great daycare program. I was in the Moffett Field Air Base, and they had a child care facility just right outside the base. So I could go there on my lunch, go outside the security gate and breastfeed him or, whatever, give him the milk that I pumped. And but I was like, no, this I want more. I want to be with him. I want to see his first steps and everything. So I became a work from home mom, and I transitioned. I became a website and application developer for high tech companies. At first, it was a natural transition from NASA. Just being a developer programmer for high tech companies. But then I got really sick, and the doctor that thought that I had a brain tumor, but then she ruled that, after testing and things like that, that I didn't have a brain tumor, but she couldn't figure out what was wrong with me, and that there was nothing that she could do for me. And so I didn't have insurance. I paid out of pocket, and so what I did was, instead of trying to go to a different doctor, I said, I'm going to try to just figure this out on my own. And so I studied nutrition and herbalism and holistic health. I enrolled in several certification programs. And I found out that my problems actually lie in the fact that I had a B12 deficiency. And then upon further study, I realized that the reason why I was B12 deficient was partly because I thought I was being healthy, but I was vegetarian slash vegan, and that was causing me to be deficient in several things, but especially B12 that was affecting me. And on top of that, I also later found out that it was just partly my high stress levels from being an entrepreneur, instead of the more fun, relaxed, NASA environment. Being an entrepreneur, it was stressing me out. And so I had to learn to just trust in God more, you know, um, and not let difficult people and clients and projects affect me as much emotionally. And so that, that then I was addressing the root cause, B12, diet, stress, lifestyle, trust in God. And so when I figured this out, I was like, wow, why couldn't the doctor like at least point me in this direction. Like, oh, why don't you try a few supplements? Why don't you try some B12 or magnesium or, vitamin D? What's your life like? What's your diet like? But doctors aren't trained that way, unfortunately. So there is need for holistic healers. And because of that, what I did after I got my certification is I opened up aruka.com, which I began just helping people health coaching, consulting, and later on, I eventually created my certification program to train other people to also become holistic healers, as I did.
Wow, what a journey. So, first of all, a mother, the first of audience, 7 children. Okay. So I bet there's never a dull moment in your home with seven
Yeah, like I
kids.
got every hour planned in my life. It's hard. It's hard.
Yeah, and then leaving out of necessity because you wanted to be with your child. There are so many people who are watching who can relate to that because wanting to be there for your family while realizing that, hey, with work-life harmony, one part may need to take a little bit more precedence, or there may need to be a shift here. So, wow, that takes a lot of courage to do. And then also realizing that with entrepreneurship, that it's not always this idea of, hey, I can do what I want that some people may have, because
You can do
there's,
what you want, but you're going to want to hustle,
hmm
especially in the
hmm
beginning.
yes. So, and working through that and how to have that balance and that peace through faith and with
So
God.
important. Yeah.
So important to learn those strategies. And that's something that I'm actually will be walking through my clients through when I open up the Career and Faith Collective in the future. And also the health part. So you were paying for medical costs out of pocket,
Thousands of dollars.
out of pocket.
But I mean, it's the same, but just one time instead of spread
Mm-hmm.
throughout
Mm-hmm.
many years.
Yeah. And then deciding, hey, I'm going to do what it takes to take a really deep dive into my health and how to get to the root of this and figure out what's going on. So there's a lot to unpack there. We're going to try to do that in this podcast. And there's more to learn from Mime at her website, aruka.com. I've visited. You also have an ebook that people can download, correct?
I have a lot of ebooks. I don't, you know what? They're hidden though, because you can't get to them unless you encounter a video that offers it. So I got to make a section on my website that has all the books listed. I'll do that soon. I've got several books.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, just so you know, when you visit her website, it is as peaceful and serene as her background. The vibe is very relaxing. So if you need to go to a place to just online that is just aesthetically pleasing and just very peaceful and serene, that's the place to do it. Okay, so there are with all of these different avenues to pursue when it comes to health, mind, body, spirit, and all of the intricacies of our bodies. What was the pivotal moment that made you say, this specific aspect is my niche?
Okay, so my niche is nutrition, mostly herbalism, mindset, and lifestyle. There's a lot of people that do like, let's say, energy work or breath work, or they focus on a specific condition. And I'm more about training people to become healers in the certification program. That's the main part of my business. And as I was coaching people, people would ask, instead of just helping them, they're like, can you teach classes? And I used to say, no, I don't, I'm not interested in that. But then right when COVID hit, and I just saw that people were in a lot of fear about their health and all, and then I have two friends who are medical doctors also, and they said, you know what, you need to start teaching what you know, not just helping people, but teaching. And I was like, okay. And I just felt like the time was right. I had a lot of people already asking me to teach. And so I just said, I think I need to do this. And it really took like me thinking of, how can I serve humanity best? And so I think that is through this certification program because I give them basically everything that I believe is important, in life, which includes the naturopathic herbalism, but it also includes holistic life coaching because this is and in this life coaching because I'm Jewish, so I have a lot of faith. I teach Hebrew and biblical studies. And so, it's an important part of my faith. And when it comes to holistic health and healing, spiritual, spirit, that it's part of it. It's body, mind, spirit, and soul, right? So you have to bring your faith into it. So the holistic life coaching was a way that I could do it without pushing my religion on people, but still helping them to understand that faith and the way you live your life is very important. Like trust in God. Doesn't matter what religion you're in, you have to trust in a divine power. And Alcoholics Anonymous, which is a very powerful method of breaking free from addiction, they also part of their process is trusting in a divine power. It's just so powerful to do that. And then the final part, so there's three parts. So there's naturopathic herbalism, holistic life coaching, and then the last part is online business and marketing. And this basically sums up everything that I've learned as an entrepreneur. First, right out of NASA, doing the digital marketing and website and application development, and then also translating that into my health and wellness business. So I feel like it's very well rounded. So you've got the bulk of it is a naturopathic herbalism, learning about nutrition, diet, herbs, holistic health, and then the mindset through the life coaching, and then the business aspect through the online business and marketing. And so my niche is basically like, how can I serve humanity at my highest and give people the best, the most that I have? And this program is really, that's it. It's my offering.
Mhm. Wow, it's really like, your gifts will make a way for you. And recently for myself, I have been practicing the serenity prayer more, accepting it more and more so that I can elevate as well. So it's interesting. No coincidence. I believe there are no coincidences in life that you you brought that up during our interview, that because with Alcoholics Anonymous, one of the things that they practice is the serenity prayer.
Yeah, I
So
love that, the serenity prayer. Can we just rephrase, like say state again here, like what it is?
yes, I will bring it up here because I want to make sure, because for me, words are very powerful. And I want to make sure that I get this absolutely correct. So, God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference.
Wow. Amen. I haven't heard it in a long time. That's so beautiful, so powerful. Every time, they used to post it around on the internet every so often, but I haven't seen it in a very long time. So I'm really glad you brought that up. What a great reminder.
hmm Like the more I pray it, like in terms of meditating, because I'm Christian, so I will meditate on different scripture and different things that I know that God is downloading to me. And the serenity prayer, when times get a little challenging in my own career, I have learned to just pause, take a breath, kind of bring myself back to center, and just really meditate on that. Just taking a few moments, it really makes a difference.
I love that. I love that. I think I'm gonna translate that into Hebrew and and come up with a tune for that. I love it.
Now, with your coaching, well, I'm sorry, with the class that you have, the course that you have, who would you say is your ideal client for? or who is ideal for that course?
Yes. Well, I think who's ideal in that course is number one, anyone who has not been able to find the answers that they're seeking for their own personal health and healing or their family members, because we've helped a lot of people with their own, a lot of our students with their own health issues and also that of their family members. I have one student who her husband was suffering from colitis, and he had been on and off different medications with a variety of side effects that were causing worse side effects, than the original problem for like 20 years. And we took a look at what his symptoms were, what he was suffering, what his diagnosis were, what the medications were that he was taking. And then I created a custom module for her to study, to help him through that, through his issues. And she was able to nurse him to health and get him off medications in 2 months. And it was what the doctors couldn't do for him in 20 years, ever since he was in the military. So anyone that is seeking health and healing but has not been able to find it, you've been searching. I think that this is a great program. Oftentimes, when the answers are elusive, it means that you have to study deeper or more comprehensively the things that make up health and healing, because it's not just one thing; it could be a variety of things. And so, anyone like that, anyone who is already passionate about holistic health and healing, but they want a more structured, formal way to study instead of studying on your own, to be certified, and also people who want that guidance in creating their online business afterwards. My business is very much focused on an online sort of telehealth coaching wellness practice, because that's what I've had, for all these years.
Wow. Now, there are people that I know that they are very interested in going this route. Like they've tried to be a vegan, or they've tried veganism, all of these different things, cutting out different sources of and different things in their diet. But there's something, but making the change, there's something that is preventing them from doing it. So I'll just speak for me. I have tried to incorporate more vegan options, relying more on vegetable sources and fruit and that sort of thing. But I'm sorry, Mime, like many people who are watching, when I go into the grocery store, I can literally hear the potato chips calling my name, like they are summoning me. So for those people who are like me, who are like, hey, I'm trying to make this switch. What do you tell them?
Well, first of all, I want to address the veganism issue, which is that I don't believe that veganism is an ideal diet for anyone long term. I do believe that it's a very effective in helping someone to detox and cleanse from certain things if that's what their body needs. But sometimes people need meat. Um, and there's a term vegan. I forgot her name, but she was the girlfriend of the man who did that documentary, Super Size Me.
Yes, I saw that.
So she was a vegan chef, and she was a very popular one. But at a certain point in time, she decided that her body needed meat, just like my body needed meat. That's what the cause of my problems in the beginning, which led me to this path. And so I do believe that vegan raw food juicing, this is actually the cure for um, cancer, in a lot of uh, various holistic health clinics. However, incorporating meat has also been a very important part of people's healing journey when it comes to a lot of autoimmune issues. Okay, so it's not a one size, health is not one size fits all. And that's an important thing that people have to learn, because a lot of schools out there, this is one of the reasons why our school stands out, is a lot of schools out there, they promote like just one thing. Like they promote vegetarianism mostly, or they promote, a primal diet. And I believe in helping people understand how to use every diet that's available out there therapeutically when you need it, and instead of trying to religiously push everyone into a one size fits all diet. Okay, now in terms of how do you avoid the junk food? This is a very great question. First of all, I don't believe in denying yourself completely because then you're just going to want it all the more. So I believe in like the 80-20 rule, but not the standard 80-20 rule, but basically 80% of the time, around 80% of the time, eat good, eat healthy, eat clean, and then allow yourself times to cheat. You can do that either with portion control. So if I love ice cream, so I'm never going to say I'm never going to eat ice cream. No way. I'm going to just reduce my portions and also start your day and start your meal off with a very nutritious, healthy meal. So don't start with the junk food. If you fill up in the morning with good quality protein or lunchtime, and it includes eggs or organic grass-fed beef or free-range chicken, pasture raised, etc., things like that, then you won't have room for a lot of the junk food, but you'll still probably want it because, that's just how, your taste buds work, but you won't want to fill yourself up with it. So I think those are two really important things. Eat the healthy stuff first, fill yourself up with good quality protein and portion control on the junk food.
Mime, thank you so much. Because now I don't feel guilty.
Good. Feeling guilty is usually not productive.
I feel like I've had a breakthrough. Thank you. Now, you are a mother of seven. So, for people who are like, hey, I don't know if I have the time to make these different choices, first of all, you've enlightened us that basically it's digging in deeper into understanding what choices to make. So people make, so it's possible that they could be assuming that if it's going to take longer to do this, but they don't really, but maybe they just need to learn more about how to make it work in their lifestyle, which they can learn from you. So for someone who says, hey, I don't know if I have the time to do this, like, because quick foods are quick for a reason. What do you say to them?
Right. So, in terms of time to get healthy, you have to invest the time, and you have to think about it this way. It might be more work to prepare healthy food, but you get to live longer and you get to have more energy and you get to have better quality of life. So it's absolutely worth it. Um, And in terms of not having enough time to transition to a different career, you can start small. And absolutely, I mean, I have 7 children of my own, plus two more that we didn't adopt. They're adopted by my mother-in-law, but we take care of them. And I homeschool these children. And so, and we also have a nonprofit that we run. So I don't know if there's anyone else out there that's busier than me, honestly. So time should not be anyone else's excuse. I streamline everything. The older children, they help cook and do the chores. I supervise them. And so I do my work, my business here in one room. The children are around me. They've got their computers and their books and their papers and pencils, and we're all working together. We're all a family. And when I had no older children to help, I hired help. And so you've just got to do things like that. And then also start slow. Like don't quit your job to start a business that you're not sure about yet. Do it, guard your hours in your main work. So you have 9 to 5 job, right? Let's say, for example, start devoting, let's say 2 hours, you know, in the afternoons and evenings to your new venture, whether it's through training or building the business. just start small. And then also the weekends, right? You always have the weekends. You always have after work. Also, if you're going to do that, you don't want to neglect your family either. So I would say don't seclude yourself from your family while you're building your business. I know some people they need to be private, but for me, I can be in the same room with my family while I'm working, and I can kind of interact with them a little bit. Or if you have to seclude yourself, make sure to schedule in family time and make it a priority. It doesn't have to be a lot, but it's got to be there so that you don't neglect what's most important in your life. So that's what I would advise, if to really manage your time properly.
Great, great. Because the time that it can take to have to recover from an illness can sometimes be way more than the time that it takes to just make little steps, incremental steps to become healthier. Yeah, I've learned that
Yeah,
myself.
to get to like back to 100%, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so mine, let's have a little fun. There are so many herbs and a lot, we see in the grocery store, but there are so many more out there. So if you were an herb, what type of herb would you be and why?
I would be comfrey. Not a lot of people have heard of comfrey. Have you heard of comfrey? Okay, so I heard that the root of the word, I think it's Latin, I'm not sure, that it means it grows. And it really does. It really helps you grow back things. So this comfrey root has helped me with knee joint pain. It's helped me with back pain, sciatica, but it's also helped me with, I used to have terrible bleeding gums, and I used to get cavities every time I would see the dentist. There would be more cavities to fill. And ever since this, I started drinking this herbal calcium formula, and this comfrey root is a key ingredient in this formula. I all those aches and pains went away, and not only that, but my my teeth, they started remineralizing, and so I don't have cavities anymore. When I go to the dentist, I never have cavities. And I didn't go to the dentist for like 10 years to experiment, because I had a cavity. I'm like, okay, I'm not going to fill it back in. I'm just going to see what happens if I just keep drinking this tea. Then after 10 years, I went back to the dentist, and he said, you have no cavities. And he's a holistic biological dentist. So he said, and I can see the mineral layer where your tea has remineralized, the enamel of your teeth. So I'm like, that's awesome. So I go back. I don't advise anyone to not go to the dentist. Don't do that. But I do. I really believe that everyone could benefit from this tea. Either, it's also helped my students with like things like heart palpitations. It helps with varicose veins, all sorts of applications. It's really great. It's also great for healing. Like if you have a broken bone, or just some kind of injury, it helps with those things. It's really helpful for bone, tissue, you know all sorts of things.
Note to
So
self, get
if
the
you if you're
comfrey.
interested in yeah, if you're interested in this formula, it's part of the herbal calcium formula. It's probably one of my most famous things that I talk about, like online. It's that and iodine. When I talk about my herbal calcium tea formula, and when I talk about iodine, these are like my top videos on YouTube. You can get this calcium formula at arukah.com, arukah.com/calcium. Okay.
You know, they say you learn at least one new thing today. My mind has been blown out. Like I will be visiting that area of your website. That is amazing. So speaking of online, in addition to your website, where else can people learn more about you and connect with you?
Yeah, so you can search for Mayim Vega on YouTube, and I'm also on Facebook. That's where I'm probably most active, YouTube and Facebook. I'm also on like LinkedIn and X and things like that, but I'm not as active. So YouTube and Facebook.
All right, thank you. So I will put the links to all of her, uh, my mind is still blown. I will put the links
Yeah, people
to,
need to know these things, right? So
oh my
simple and easy.
gosh.
My whole family drinks it.
When I think of herbs, I think of, basil,
Yeah, it's great
parsley.
too.
But yeah, but that comfrey, I will now be researching more about that. Wow. Okay, so I will put the details of all of her work, all the links to all of her socials in the description so you can learn more about her. In the few minutes we have left, what is something else that I'm not asking you that you think is important for people to know?
Well, I really love to talk about holistic success, and that success, I've really focused on not just one area of success, but I believe holistic success means success in terms of your health, in terms of your relationships with your spouse, your family, your friends, your community, etc. And also financial success, of course, with your business or career, your investments, things like that. And finally, your personal and spiritual success and health. And let's not neglect any one of those.
Wow. Well, thank you so much for an insightful interview. And everyone, please take a moment to visit her website and all of her information because it is really important to be able to have a healthy life in order to be able to do a lot of the things that you want to do in life. The goals that you put on the back burner, you need that energy to be able to do that. So, Mime, thank you so much for taking time out of your day for this. And everyone, I will catch you next week for the next episode of the Career and Faith podcast. Thank you for watching.
Right? Shalom and blessings.
When you visit Mime's website, aruka.com, be sure to mention that you heard about her at the Career and Faith podcast. Thanks for watching. See you next week for another episode of the Career and Faith podcast hosted by Joy Scott.